Hi, Black Cat Recapped here. Today I am going to explain a horror movie named Trick or Treat. In the beginning of the movie, they mention some important things about Halloween. They say you should always walk on the sidewalks, never visit a stranger's house, and never go out alone. The story starts with a couple named Emma and her husband Henry, who really love Halloween. They come back home after going to a party, but they look tired. Emma gets mad at all the Halloween decorations and blows out their pumpkin lantern. Henry tells her to stop because it goes against tradition. He says everyone celebrates Halloween and follows the rules, but Emma disagrees. Henry also tries to convince Emma to spend some alone time with him, but she says no because she really doesn't like Halloween. She wants to take down all the decorations before midnight. Henry offers to do it in the morning, but she thinks he'll be too busy playing video games. She also tells him that her mother is coming tomorrow, and she won't come inside if she sees the mess. Then she asks Henry to go and take a rest. Henry goes inside the house and plays a special tape. Meanwhile, Emma starts taking down the Halloween decorations in the front yard. She turns off all the lights and begins removing all the sculptures. She sees a man in a spooky black costume with a scary mask in front of her house. She gets really scared because the man seems to be standing very still. But she feels relieved when a car approaches, and the man takes off his mask before getting in. While she's cleaning up the decorations, Emma is suddenly attacked and killed by someone from an asylum, but his face remains hidden. He's holding a lollipop. Later that night, Henry wakes up and goes outside to find Emma. He discovers her mutilated body on display with the decorations, and there's a lollipop in her mouth, which the killer had in his hand. Then the story introduces Lori, a young woman who's not very confident. She arrives at a party with her sister Danielle and her friends Maria and Janet. They all go to meet their dates, but Lori is different. She wants her first date to be really special, so she says no to their invitation to hang out at the town festival. Next, we see a chubby and mischievous boy named Charlie. He's going around breaking the pumpkin lights on people's fences, ruining all the Halloween decorations in the neighborhood. He also has a white sack that he's dragging on the ground while he walks. He's stealing candy from a bowl left out by the school principal, Stephen Wilkins. Principal Stephen Wilkins catches Charlie in the act, and they sit on the stairs outside the house. The principal talks to Charlie about the rules of Halloween that everyone should follow. While Charlie is listening, he eats a chocolate bar and suddenly starts vomiting blood because of the chocolate. His condition gets worse. The principal scolds him and says he's warned him many times to check the chocolates before eating them. Then he reveals that he poisoned the chocolate. The principal takes Charlie's lifeless body to bury it somewhere. Meanwhile, a group of children, including Macy, Sarah, Chip, and Schrander, show up in front of his house. The principal gives candies to all of them. There's also a child standing behind the others who has his entire head covered, and his name is Sam. Sam also leaves after getting candies from the principal. Then the principal takes the lifeless body to the backyard. While he's trying to bury the body, his young son Billy and his quiet neighbor Mr. Craig keep bothering him. There's already a dead body in the backyard, and Mr. Craig asks Stephen Wilkins to leave the backyard and stop making noise. Finally, the principal manages to bury both of the lifeless bodies. When he comes back inside, Mr. Craig is trying to say something to him through the window, but Stephen Wilkins ignores him because they don't get along. As Stephen Wilkins goes into his own house, he doesn't see his son, but suddenly, Billy jumps out and startles him. Wilkins tells Billy it's time to carve the jack-o'-lantern, and leads him downstairs while hiding a knife behind his back. Wilkins plans to stab Billy, but it later turns out that the knife was actually in Charlie's head. The same kids who visited Principal Stephen Wilkins' house for candy are seen again. They gather jack-o'-lanterns for some purpose. On their way, they meet a girl named Rhonda, who really loves Halloween, and she joins their group. The group goes to a local flooded quarry, where Macy tells a scary story about a Halloween school bus accident. 8 children with disabilities were on the bus, and it went over the quarry's edge. The kids died, and the driver disappeared. Macy says they're going to leave 8 jack-o'-lanterns by the lake as a tribute to those children. Rhonda goes down with Chip in an elevator and sees a school bus, realizing that Macy's story is true. Suddenly, some people who look like zombies attack Rhonda. She runs away but falls into a hole. When she gets back up, the group pretends to be the undead kids and scares Rhonda. She feels really bad and goes back to the elevator. While Rhonda stays in the elevator, the group cleans up their props. Macy accidentally kicks one of the lanterns into the quarry, and this makes real zombie children appear. Sarah gets caught by the zombies, and when the group rushes to the elevator, they beg Rhonda to let them in. They tell her it's not a prank this time. But Rhonda doesn't believe them and leaves them behind. She quietly goes home, leaving the screaming group to be attacked and eaten by the zombie children. On her way, she briefly encounters Sam as she's leaving, and they share a meaningful look. The next part of the story shows a girl who's with a guy dressed as a vampire. The girl is all messy and bloody, and she believes the guy is a real vampire. She gets scared, runs away, and asks for help, but no one takes her seriously because they think it's just a Halloween costume. In the end, the vampire actually kills her and leaves her by the road where a few drunk people don't even notice her lifeless body because they're all tipsy. Later, Lori is still looking for someone to go to the party with. On her way to the town festival, she runs into a hooded serial killer who attacks her, just like the fake vampire did. At a bonfire, Lori's sister and friends are waiting for her. They suddenly see a man who's badly hurt falling out of a tree, and he's wearing Lori's red dress. When they take off his mask, they discover it's Stephen Wilkins, the school's principal. He's the one who killed the boy Charlie. He wasn't a real vampire. He dressed up like one to harm people. Lori arrives and tells them that he attacked her. One of the girls, Maria, takes out the fake vampire teeth. Wilkins is scared when he sees all the dead bodies around, brought by those girls. The truth about those girls comes out. They're not regular humans but werewolves who pretend to be human. Lori also decides to join them for this special event, and the girls transform into werewolves. While all of this is happening, Sam is watching everything at the feast. Then there's a flashback. Some kids dressed as clowns with bags of candy go to Mr. Craig's house, but he scares them away with his dog, Spike, because he doesn't like Halloween at all and never participates in it. Later, he's seen burning some photos. As the night goes on, Mr. Craig experiences strange things. Someone throws eggs at his window, and he sees his lawn filled with jack-o'-lanterns. He hears a noise from his bedroom. Spike goes in, but doesn't come back. Mr. Craig takes out his gun and goes to the room. He finds something moving under the blanket on the bed, and then a jack-o'-lantern lights up. He sees the walls and ceiling of the bedroom covered in bloody Halloween greetings. Mr. Craig is then attacked by Sam, who was hiding under the bed. Then Sam comes out and approaches Mr. Craig. He vanishes when Mr. Craig shoots at him. The older man limps heavily as he leaves the bedroom. He loses his balance on the staircase, which has sharp objects, and gets badly hurt. He goes to the main door and tries to unlock it. Suddenly, he hears strange laughter, and Sam attacks him from the ceiling. Mr. Craig tries to get Sam off him and succeeds by throwing him on the floor. Then he goes to his window and asks Stephen Wilkins for help. This part explains the scene from when Stephen Wilkins was coming back from the backyard. He sees Mr. Craig yelling from the window, but he ignores it. While Mr. Craig is begging for help from the window, Sam attacks him again and hits him on the face. As a result, Sam's mask comes off, and he turns out to be a wicked child with a pumpkin head. Sam's supernatural powers give him an advantage in the fight, and he ultimately manages to fatally injure Mr. Craig. However, Sam stabs a chocolate bar that landed on Mr. Craig's lap by mistake, and then he takes and eats it. This completes the tradition of giving out candy on Halloween. Sam seems to win and leaves Mr. Craig with a final warning glance. Then, the photos in the fireplace reveal that Mr. Craig was the bus driver who killed the 8 children many years ago on Halloween. Later, Mr. Craig is shown as a changed, kind person. He starts giving out candy to children. He sees Rhonda, who is showing her pumpkin card. He also notices Billy handing out treats to other kids while wearing an outfit like his father's. He looks at Lori, her sister, and her friends driving on the road, having a good time. He sees Sam watching Emma and Henry return home, the same couple from the start of the movie. Here, it's revealed that Sam was the one who killed Emma. He goes back inside and gets a knock on the door. Mr. Krieg opens it, and the 8 resurrected children are waiting for him. The final scene of the movie shows Mr. Krieg dismembered, and all 8 children have gotten their revenge.